The Oratory of San Marco in Rossano. The exterior. Historical background. Rossano was one of the most important Byzantine towns in Calabria. One of its most impressive monuments of that period, the Oratory of San Marco, or the Church of St. Mark, has survived to this day. This magnificent temple is considered to be the twin of the Cattolica di Stilo, another famous church of the Byzantine civilization in Calabria. Rossano is an ancient town of Roman origin, but it was only under the rule of Constantinople that it reached its glorious peak. Thanks to its favorable strategic position in the Gulf of Corigliano, the town became an important military base, which was intensively exploited throughout its long history. You will be surprised by the absolute lack of historical data or any precise references relating to the origin of the Oratory of San Marco. This makes it impossible to determine the exact date of the creation of the monument, while the approximate data gathered by experts varies between the 10th and 11th centuries. As for its architecture, the oratory features distinct similarities to that of the Cattolica Church in Stilo, which also has no exact foundation date. According to researchers, the Oratory of San Marco was founded later than that of the Cattolica. One way or another, the oratory is an example of the architecture relating to the epoch of the Second Byzantine rule in southern Italy. Besides, the church in Rossano has features of the Latin West, maybe from the beginning of the Norman era. The initial function of the building has not been identified. Perhaps it was a kind of sanctuary for hermits. It may also have been used in its traditional way, that is, as an oratory attached to the destroyed convent of St. Anastasia. If the second assumption is true, then we may have the first chronologically reliable data. According to the life of Saint Nilus of Rossano, the founder of numerous Italo-Greek monastic communities, this monastery was founded by Euphrasia, a native of Rossano and the imperial judge of Italy and Calabria in the middle of the 10th century. It is more than likely that the construction of the church began after the terrible earthquake of 950, which devastated the entire southern part of Rossano and resulted in the formation of two large gorges at the foot of a rocky hill where the church is located. The construction is supposed to have been completed before the conquest of Rossano by the Normans in 1060, although some experts suggest a later date, basing their opinion on the fact that the Byzantine architectural tradition continued to be used in the area for a long time after the conquest. Over the years, the church underwent several reconstructions and alterations. However, this did not do irreparable harm to its original charming building. The first restoration took place in 1836 and was necessitated by serious damage caused by the earthquake of 1836. The restoration included the strengthening of the foundation and a dismantling of the elements added after the Byzantine period. In the course of restoration works, the roof and the floor were renovated, and the bricked-up windows in the domes and the mullioned window in the central apse were cut through again. In addition, thanks to the restorer's work, today we can enjoy the fragments of the sculptures and of a fresco named Madonna and Child, which once was part of a much bigger artwork, maybe covering the entire church, as it was customary in the iconography of Byzantine churches of the post-iconoclastic period. The porch. The Oratory of San Marco dominates the panorama of Rossano. It is clearly visible in the southeastern edge of this small town. It sits on a bench of tuff rock, keeping it isolated from the surrounding buildings. The monument became especially well visible after the ground level had been lowered for the construction of the road. Having passed through the gate, obscuring the open space in front of the north facade of the church, we walk into a square porch. The porch, with a roof of timber trusses, is the result of the restoration and is a latter addition to the main building of the church, which is evidenced by a clear difference in the level between the two walls. Perhaps it was built to accommodate the increasing number of the faithful. Some experts suggest the porch was built to replace the original narthex of a smaller size. From a purely architectural point of view, the oratory has much in common with the Cattolica Church in Stilo. It has the same plan of a Greek cross inscribed in a square, and in the east there are 3 semicircular apses of roughly the same size. The architectural aspect.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?